our class. This is for Intro to the Biology Lab. This is General Biology 1 Lab. My name is Sarah Gonzalez, and I'll be the instructor for the course over the next 8 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen here so that we are all on the same page as to what is due for this week. So when you log into our class, again, you'll see our homepage here, Bio 120, General Bio Lab. What's going to pop up is the announcements. So make sure you pay attention to these announcements, because typically on Mondays or maybe even Tuesdays sometimes, I'll post a recording like this, kind of going over what is due for the week and going over each of the modules as in terms of lab. I'm not going to go over the very specific details, but basically where to find information. If you ever have any questions, please let me know. Again, I'm available by phone, text, email. You can even send a little message here on the discussions, and we'll be able to touch base and then answer any questions you have. So if you go to course menu, go to learning modules. And on the left-hand side here, you'll see everything that you need. It's all tabulated here. Go to the table of contents. So this is kind of a good outline as to how to kind of navigate the course if you're not too familiar with Brightspace here. Under Start here, again, all your information here. So make sure you take a look at the syllabus. Please make sure you have your lab kits ordered already. If you haven't, do so as soon as possible because we're already in the first week. There's a lot due already this week, and I don't want you to fall behind. So let's look into the Module 1. So Module 1 is going to be basically an introduction to the science of life. We'll look at some of the things like the scientific process that you probably have been introduced in elementary, middle school, high school, and beyond. So a list of questions to answer a scientific question that you may have. In the module introduction, this is basically, each module pretty much has the same outline here. So this is basically going to outline your objectives, so what we plan to learn here. So we're going to look at the scientific method, we're going to look at some basic laboratory practices, safety, and then graphing. Again, the module overview is going to take a look at what we're going to do. So the intro introduces the concept, and the overview is what we're going to do. Make sure you pay attention to the readings and resources page as well. So this is going to be going a little bit into, if you are taking the lecture portion of this course, the General Biology 1 lecture, it does kind of go into the textbook as additional support, but it's not required. Here's some links to what is required. So the lab safety manual, the lab material kit list here, an intro to graphing, and the Module 1 template that you'll need. And then, of course, some videos here, some additional information looking at some of the concepts that we'll be introducing here. So a couple things that are due this week. So your discussion. So here you're going to, again, looking into the scientific method here. So you're going to introduce yourself, your name, where you're from. Maybe you want to talk about what major you have, what year you are in, and then maybe a little bit into what your future career choice is looking into, whatever information you feel comfortable sharing with the class. And then also reflect upon a time that you use a scientific method. Some people look at this and go, I've never used a scientific method. But think about it. How did you decide what to have for breakfast this morning? What route did you take to work or school? How did you, if you ever had an issue with your computer or something didn't work, how did you figure out what solved that issue? So you use a scientific method quite a bit without even realizing it. So in your initial post, you're going to think about that time that you used a scientific method. So how did you approach a situation? What steps in the scientific method did you actually use? And then what did you learn from the experience? Your response post, you're going to take a look at two of your peers in terms of their initial post, and then you're going to respond to their post here. So in your response post, did you notice any similarities or differences in how you would have approached a situation? What other factors may have been interesting to examine in that particular situation? And then share how their examples and approaches could relate to the skills. So for your discussion, the initial post is due this Thursday, March 6th. And then your two response posts due this Sunday, which I believe is March 9th, don't quote me on the dates, but anyway, initial post Thursday, your 2 response posts on Sunday. This is an agreement. It's not graded. Please make sure you take a look at it because it is an online course. So I'm not there with you in a laboratory setting to make sure you are being safe. So please just take a look at the agreement. It's basically making sure that you don't leave any chemicals out, for your pets or for your children to get into, making sure that you're wearing gloves and safety goggles as needed. We're not going to be, this is not a chemistry lab or advanced chemistry. We're not going to be making anything that's going to be dangerous, but just be safe. So make sure you take a look at this agreement. There's also a lab safety quiz, also that's non-graded. So you just click on this and then take a look at some of the questions and just submit that also by Sunday. What is graded is this lab here called the Introduction to Graphing. So you'll need some type of graphing software, usually Excel, even graphing paper is totally fine. It's not, don't download anything that you have to pay for or super complicated. Microsoft 365 includes all web versions of this. This is available to you as a student. So in this graphing lab, this lab is designed to provide practice with this. So what's nice about the modules is it gives you an idea of how much time that you're going to be spending. Remember, all these labs, the only thing that's not due Sunday is your initial post, but everything else is due on Sunday. So if this lab is, again, 20, 40, 60 minutes, so you're going to spend about an hour on this. I wouldn't begin it at 11:59 on Sunday evening because you're not going to be done in time. So just kind of take a look at, pre-read some of these labs, make sure you understand what's going on, read them again, and then also be prepared for the time involved in them. So read through the overview. Here's an introduction here. This is the template that you're going to be submitting. It has some questions on there. There's also some areas that you can copy and paste your graphs as well. If you're not computer savvy, you can, again, do this on graph paper and send it as an attachment. That's totally fine too. But make sure you use the template because the template is how I grade it because it has not only sections for the graphs, but it also has additional questions that you need to answer as well. So that's due on Sunday. And then the 1.5 lab introduction to science. So again, this is 80, 95, so about an hour and a half for this one. And this is as preparation, the activity as well too. So here is the template to use. Again, this is all the information here is in the lab kit that you have. So here is the template that you're going to use to do the graphing, or I'm sorry, the lab here, and make sure again you use that template because it has additional questions as well. And then this is a final project that's due at the end of the semester. So just take a look at it just so that you're aware of it. Post any questions you have about this as well too, and I'll do my best to respond to them. And then that has some guidelines and rubrics. So just to kind of recap what's due. For your discussion, your initial post is due by Thursday. Your 2 follow-up responses due by Sunday. The lab safety agreement, the quiz not graded, also due by Sunday. So please make sure you have them because it is required. And then your graphing lab as well as your intro to science lab, again, those are due Sunday as well. So let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to some great discussions online and meeting you all virtually, and having a great week.